May I come in, sir?
Yes, please, come in.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Sayali. Please take your seat.
Thank you, sir.
How are you?
I'm good, sir.
Good. All set for 2nd of February?
Yes, sir.
Let us start with your current job.
Currently, I'm not working, sir.
When did you leave?
My last working day was on April 30th, 2025.
And why did you leave?
So since prelims was approaching near, and I wanted to give it one full best attempt.
I noticed that was your only second attempt.
Yes, sir.
You found it worth even leaving the job?
So since I'm young and I wanted to take up this career as the only option available right now to me, because if I were to take up post-graduation later on, I didn't want to waste many attempts in this. I had planned 2 attempts for civil services and I wanted to give my best in those 2. So.
Okay. Let's, yeah.
You've been the best sportsman in your college group, right?
Yes, sir.
We've had one international event recently, or we are having one in Pune.
Yes, sir.
Could you describe that for us? What is happening and what are the positives for Pune?
So recently, Pune held the cycling tour, world tour, which is also taken in account as an international event in the field of cycling. In this, there is 400-kilometer cycling drive, which is beneficial in the fact that many of the roads were constructed connecting the 400-kilometer track, and thus it provided connectivity to these villages and the scenic roads that Pune provides. And the specialty is that Pune was also historically known as the cycling city. Thus it adds to one of the key events in India to be held. We are also betting for Commonwealth to be held in India. So this also acts as a stepping stone in that direction.
Are you aware of a pile-up that took place during the event yesterday?
Sorry, sir?
A pile-up, an accident that took place.
I couldn't read it, sir. I wasn't aware of it.
Okay.
I'll read upon it.
You've studied on sleep wellness.
Yes, sir.
Can you define sleep wellness for me?
So sleep wellness is prioritizing our sleep in such a way that when we are awake, we are able to use our fullest potential. Sleep, we don't mess up our sleep in a way so that it affects our productivity during our wake up time. It helps in our overall emotional, mental and physical productivity.
What is the recommended time that an individual should have?
So it varies from institute to institute. Usually it is said,
Institute, you say?
yeah, like WHO recommends 6 to 8 hours of sleep, whereas some say that some people are genetically gifted, that they can only survive on 4 to 5 hours of sleep also. Like there is DEC mutation where these people have the ability to survive on 4 to 5 hours of sleep as well.
What has morning sunlight exposure got to do with sleeping?
So it helps in resetting our circadian rhythm. We have an internal clock which is located in our suprachiasmatic nucleus, which is usually in the absence of light, a human can set its own internal clock, which is usually more than 24 hours. So when sunlight comes in, every day it gives us a reset to start from a new beginning, where it says that this is the productive time.
You were in the NCC.
Yes, sir.
You got a A certificate.
Yes.
You never looked at defense as an option, but as a doctor only defense.
So initially I had the scope to enter AFMC soon after my 12th standard. But then I missed out on the form filling date during that time. I wasn't aware. After my graduation, there was also opening in as the short commission for doctors. Then I wasn't physically fit for it.
You as a sportsman, you were not fit for it?
I
Okay. Okay, my last question would be, there's a lot of talk about whether we should spend our meager resources of the nation on defense preparedness or on development. What would you say about this? What would your views be?
So in my opinion, looking at the current situation, being defense ready, that given that our volatile neighborhood, it is not an option to not be ready with our defense equipments. As when we can secure our national security, then only we can also ensure that we are able to develop, and nobody can come and interrupt those development, whatever steps we have taken in that direction. So it is essential to ensure our national security first.
And how, as a common citizen, would you contribute in the defense of the nation?
So as a common citizen, paying regular tax and not evading tax would be one thing. Also having the highest national moral and duty towards the nation is one thing which can boost the moral of our defense cadets and army personals. Thirdly, also using the infrastructure which the government has provided to the best of its ability and not trashing it and ruining it would be one.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Sayali.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Sayali, do we need more good doctors or good administrators?
Ma'am, we need both.
Both.
Yes, ma'am.
If I say we need more good doctors, would you agree to me?
Yes, ma'am.
What is a good doctor?
Ma'am, good doctors is one who understands the need of the patient and does not prescribe anything which is unnecessary to that patient and gives a patient-oriented treatment to that patient.
How would you rate yourself as a doctor out of 10?
I would rate myself as 9.5. There's always scope for improvement.
What are your strengths and weaknesses? Keeping civil services in mind. You are a doctor. You are about to enter the services. So what are those strengths and weaknesses that you identify in yourself?
First I'll start with strengths. Starting from my medical education, it has provided me with the knowledge and how health is a key determinant in the society for development. Second, it also helped me develop problem-solving attitude and looking at the broader picture. Looking at my weaknesses, I tend to overthink a lot, which I'm trying to manage, and procrastinate sometimes, which also I'm trying to manage by building discipline.
How many hours do you sleep?
I tend to sleep 7 to 8 hours now.
Okay. What is good governance?
Good governance is when, I'm not sure about the exact definition, but if I were to say, good governance refers to that the public service is delivered to the last mile, to the last person standing.
Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
5 years from now, as a able administrator in the service, doing my best for the society.
Good.
Namaste.
Namaste, sir.
Do you think that Gaza Peace Board will become Trump's own United Nations?
So in my opinion, looking at the current situation, given those 13 articles which are present in it, it very much tends to show that Trump is going to be a permanent member of the Gaza Peace Board. He has enlisted himself as a separate member as well as representing as US President from. Plus it also shows his interest saying that it is gonna not only stick to Gaza peace plan and also look at other conflicts over the world. So definitely Trump is gonna be a permanent member if we were to look at it from now.
Do you think India should join this board?
Sir, I think India should wait and watch, as many of the nations have not given their intent as to how they see it. We can also see if there are going to be any changes in it, since Pakistan is also invited to it. So not joining it can also backfire, as it can be a stage where Pakistan can have a leverage to deal with other nations and we might lose on it.
Okay. Is India currently ready for AI-driven healthcare?
So India has already taken few steps in that sector. Recently, if I were to mention, in IIT Madras came up with a tool, Garbhini, which helps to monitor the pregnancy duration in a female and look out for risk factors in the baby later on. Also, AI is included in telemedicine in some of the centers in India. Recently also when I went through it, there is diagnosis of blood cancer using AI, which was very much efficient, when sometimes doctors tend to miss out on it because we have to observe it microscopically to look for abnormal cells. So given these few steps, we are very much ready to integrate AI into our health system.
Okay. In the short period that you served, what were your learnings?
So this was my first experience working in Maharashtra. Before that, I had worked in Karnataka during my internship. So it was a very different experience. Here, the notable difference I saw was the role of ASHA workers. They tend to do a lot of work at the ground level and very much are in line with the primary and preventive care which India envisions. And second thing was there is a need for decentralization of resources in healthcare which can be done at PHC level to work on the preventive aspect. Other than that, there was also lack of awareness which I saw at the ground level in the rural areas, especially in the tribal population. They tend to not know what the government is providing them and what are the services that are available to them at the lowest level.
Okay. What are the limitations of modern medicine in terms of preventing lifestyle diseases?
So modern medicine is often looked at as at the last stage, that is treatment part. Preventive part people tend to ignore, and that too in modern medicine, preventive part is usually associated with lifestyle modification, which very few people tend to come to a doctor and ask for. And even if they do, they hardly ever follow, is what I've noticed. And the thing is, research also on the lifestyle modification has been done a lot, but nobody usually follows on the lifestyle aspect in modern medicine.
Okay. Last question from my side. Despite large awareness, why people keep falling for digital arrest-like scams?
So, one of the studies has shown that digital arrest scams were largely seen in the elderly population. That is also one of the reasons that in spite of awareness, we are not seeing results in it. Elderly population has learned it very later on how to use the digital space. Thus, they are very prone to such attacks. And also there is lack of digital hygiene in India as well. People tend to share their passwords, usernames everywhere, falling for some greed of that they are offering, lucky draws or anything. Thus, this has shown that despite awareness, we are falling for such scams.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, Sayali.
Hello, ma'am.
How are you?
I'm good, ma'am. Good.
You have done your schooling from Mysore.
Yes,
How
ma'am.
come?
My father worked in BRB and MPL, Bharatiya Road Reserve Bank, Lotmutran Nagar. So he was posted in currency press of Mysore.
Acha.
So we were living with him.
And now you have shifted to Nashik.
Yes, ma'am. After my graduation, I've come to Nasik.
Okay. So which place do you like better?
Personally, I have had fond memories of Mysore since I have a lot of friends there. So Mysore is close to my heart. But since I've worked in Nasik, I'm still exploring Nasik. So to comment on Nasik would be injustice right now.
Okay. You stay at Savarkar Nagar.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us about Swatantraveer Savarkar.
Swatantraveer Savarkar was a dynamic personality to begin with. He has done so much in various fields. Many of the historians refer to him as the revolutionary at the time of starting from the Nashik conspiracy case. Also, he was prominent.
Was he a revolutionary or
aiding other revolutionaries?
Sorry?
Aiding, it was found.
Oh, listen to me.
Sorry.
You said many of the historians refer to him as revolutionary. So, is it the historian's point of view or he was actually a revolutionary?
I'll correct myself,
Okay.
ma'am. Extremist is one word I can use that many people refer to him as.
Okay.
And he was also found aiding in the Nashik conspiracy case. Anant
Okay, continue
Lakshman
your
Kar-
answer.
Yeah. He had formed many youth clubs. One of that was Mitra Mela in Nasik, and then Abhinav Bharat Chadwal in Pune when he was studying in college. Later on, when he went on to London to study barrister, there also he was active as a part of Indian national movement. After coming back to India, he was sent to Andaman cellular jail, and post which it is seen that he became very moderate in his stand, given asking for mercy petition was one of the things where he told that he would control his action against his strong stance
What is your
against the
take
British.
on that?
Ma'am, if I were to be honest, I feel I have to read a lot on him to develop an opinion on his works.
You have learned Bharatnatyam.
Yes, ma'am.
So, at what level have you learned it?
Ma'am, I've given the primary exam conducted by Karnataka Secondary Education Board, which is equivalent to 10th standard level.
Acha. Okay. So, what did it teach you? How did it shape you?
I learned it when I was in school. That time it helped me manage both my studies and extracurricular activities. So it helped me balance both during that time, which I carried on later in life. It helped me build discipline as well and also work on my body language and posture.
What is antibiotic resistance?
Antibiotic resistance refers to ineffectiveness of the current chemicals, that is antibiotics, drugs that we are using against the pathogens, that is viruses, bacteria, fungi, which do not respond to these drugs later on. They develop resistance vertically and through gene transfer.
Our Prime Minister spoke about it recently. Why do you think he had to speak about it? Is it that serious thing in India?
Recently, WHO also mentioned that India has become a hub for antimicrobial resistance, given that we are injudiciously using all these drugs at all steps. And it is also estimated by 2030 that it is going to emerge as a global health problem, antimicrobial resistance. And in that line, we have to take step at the ground level.
What are the steps?
Injudicious use of antibiotics, that is underuse and overuse, both should be controlled. According to One Health approach, use of antibiotics in animals is also to be controlled. Use of chemicals in agriculture is also to be controlled. These are few steps which needs to be taken.
Last question. As a woman officer, what problems are you going to face
As an
once you join service?
Some of the problems which women tend to face in work are commonly known as glass ceiling, and where they don't tend to get equal standing for consideration for promotions. Other than that, many of the subordinate might not listen to a woman officer as effectively as they listen to a male subordinate counterpart. Also, looking from the safety point of view, many tend to think that a woman is weak in the areas where a male can handle on his own at risky areas, such as law.
What will you do if your subordinates don't listen?
I will try to talk to them individually, like understand why they are not able to listen to me. What are their inhibitions as to follow the orders? Is it only based on my gender, or they have any other problem with the decisions I am taking? If it is particularly based on my gender, I will try to talk it out and sort it. If not, after giving
They
a
are not
notice,
listening to you, they are your subordinates, and you're going to talk to them and discuss it with them.
one chance can be given to everybody, ma'am, and then we can take a stern position.
Thank you.
Some experts are saying that world is going to suffer from recession in 2026. What do you think?
So, in my opinion, many of the economists are saying that world is going to see a recession. As of now, what the economic parameters are showing, especially from point of view in India, the growth is also revised to 7.3 by IMF, and we are not seeing any signs as of now. But some points of concern which I would like to mention would be the AI bubble, which many are referring to, that there is a lot of investment going into AI, but there is no physical value or any asset which is seen to be created, which is creating concern in the mind of investors. Also, there is global uncertainty at this point given the US policies, which is leading to lack of investor confidence in the markets, and they are turning their heads towards the conventional assets, that is gold and silver. This can be some triggering points if a recession were to happen, but looking at the current picture, it is not showing any signs of recession.
Some other economists describe India's growth as jobless growth.
Yes, sir.
What do you think?
So if I were to define jobless growth to begin with, is when there's growth happening in respect of GDP, but similar level of job is not getting created to translate that growth. This happens when there is increased efficiency at the workforce, which is the companies are tending to increase their productivity through use of technology and other aspects, but not translating to increased employment. So that's why many people tend to call India's growth as jobless growth. But there are some parameters showing that unemployment rate has also dropped in India, which is at currently 3%.
What is India's GDP as of now?
So it is $4.18 trillion.
What part of GDP does government recover in form of taxes?
Sorry, sir, I'm not able to recall at the moment.
Do you recall the size of our budget? I'm talking of the national budget. What is sort of an average size?
I'm not able to recall the exact figures, sir.
Within that size, For a variety of reasons, a critical figure is what is called as capital expenditure.
Yes, sir.
What is capital expenditure?
So it is the part of the budget which is spent on creating assets and capital, which is referred to as capital budget.
And any chance you remember what percentage of our budget is normally the capital expenditure?
So I'm not able to recall the exact percentage, but I know the trend that it has increased over the past few years. There's a growing trend in the expenditure toward capital expenditure.
Well, talking about Bharatnatyam, you said it taught you body language, posture.
Yes, sir.
Did it not teach you facial expressions?
It did, sir. Yes, sir.
What is the name for facial expressions in Bharatnatyam?
There are facial expression based on eyebrows. There's also a facial expressions.
All told, there is a name for it.
I am unable to recall at the moment, sir. Sorry, sir. I'm having nystagmus right now for some reason. Yeah, all okay, sir.
Okay. What is Tribhanga Mudra?
So Tribhanga Mudra is usually seen in Odissi, which leads to there is bend at the knee, at the neck and at the waist, which is very peculiar to Odissi, sir.
Did you also learn Kannada at Mysore?
Yes, sir.
Is that also your mother tongue?
No, sir. Marathi is my mother tongue.
You must have visited Chamundi Hill.
Yes, sir.
What is the specialty?
So Chamundi Hill is located in Mysore, and it is based on the famous folk tale that. One second, sir. I'm so sorry. It is based on the folk tale that Mata Chamundeshwari killed Mahishasura there, and thus the shape of the mountain resembles the lying down Mahishasura, and on top of that hill is where the Chamundi temple is located. Every Dasara, that same goddess is brought down for procession during the Dasara festival in Mysore.
Who are warriors?
So warriors are the local Mysore king, which are currently ruling there. Ruling in the sense where they own the Mysore palace, the Amba Vilas palace. They were one of the local heads of the Vijayanagar Empire, which later on dissolution of Vijayanagar Empire took over at the charge of Mysore.
You learned Vipassana?
Yes, sir.
You did that 10-day course?
Yes, sir.
Was it at Igatpuri? Where did you do it?
I did it at Igatpuri, sir.
Are you regularly practicing Vipassana?
Yes, sir.
How long?
So currently it's reduced. After the session, I've done half an hour every 2 times a day.
Morning, evening?
Yes, sir.
You represented badminton, you played badminton at state level.
Yes, sir. During my, it was state level of the medical colleges.
Did not consider being a professional badminton player.
No, sir.
Why not?
Sir, given my medical education, I could hardly take out some time for badminton. And also, COVID happened in my second year. So I lost a lot of valuable time of my college life during that time.
Okay.
I lost the habit of playing badminton in that.
Thank you. All the best, Sayali.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Take your seat, Sayali, and tell us your own self-analysis first.
So I'll begin with what I haven't not done till now. This was my very first mock interview, and I've done whole of my preparation from Nasik. I I had lost contact with the world till now.
Uh,
So coming out, it was difficult to
uh.
get some words in my mouth and talk. And I was using a lot of casual language as well.
Not casual. Where do you think casual language?
Sometimes oh, and then I would not be able to form the complete sentence in between. And I don't know, I got some nystagmus due to the camera, or I don't know, when I was looking in front, it was just shaking a lot. So I was getting distracted in between. I'll figure out what happened.
Because everyone sensed something went wrong towards last couple of minutes.
I was getting constant nystagmus, like when I was looking straight up.
Uh.
So my eyeball, that's nystagmus classic, which was happening. It's the very first time.
Something we need to at least
Yeah.
apply our mind to,
Yes, sir.
see to it that it doesn't happen.
During the
Yeah,
activity.
if you know why it happened, you think it's because of the camera?
Or maybe I'm dehydrated or something of that sort. I'll find out why it happened.
But a dehydrated doctor? Okay, Sayali, basically I must tell you, I'm happily, for half the part is happy one.
Yes, sir.
Actually, basically you have all those vibrations of excellence. But in today's interview, they did not translate into performance.
Yes, sir.
That's why I'm summarizing it. That be it daff over here, or when you come in, wish the panel, take your seat. There are all these very positive vibrations of a good potential officer. I'm sure you remember that after all this is personality test.
Yes, sir.
You have cleared pre and mains. UPSC knows. Now they want to see you before they select you.
Yes, sir.
So it's about whether they see an officer in you. What I'm very happily telling you is they do see officer in you. Okay? But then your answers are not translating that into performance. That's what I mean.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm sure everyone will sense excellent potential, but not performance. And after all, the evaluation will be based not on potential, but on actual performance. So in that end, what I am putting at number one, and that I must tell you, it surprises me even personally. You are not stating yourself confidently.
Yes.
That I began to note from word go. So the word I have noted is, you are being very cautious. Cautious. All the time cautious. I don't know, I am trying to figure it out. You are not stating yourself emphatically. Also the requisite confidence. That is a must for an officer also. And actually doctors generally basically are confident people. They cannot treat patient unless they are confident. They can't be, am I doing this right? Is it okay? Then the patient better, God save the patient, if doctor begins to behave like that. So what I'm saying is, let that confidence come across.
Yes.
In very hard practical terms, I'll say, state yourself confidently. Whatever answer you give, you are giving even right answers a bit diffidently. You're not stating your answers like confidently, those even you know. But you're offering them like, okay, I'm giving the answer, but I'm myself not sure whether the answer is right or not.
Okay, sir.
And in terms of interview, in fact, I go to the extent of saying that even if you want to give a wrong answer, give it confidently.
Okay, sir.
It is, so you're understating yourself. You have everything it takes to succeed. I mean, the DAF also, and what in good English is called presence. How is your presence? But you need to then be aware of it and then consciously translate it into performance. Okay. You are saying that working there at Harsul.
Yes, sir.
So you think you were in a sort of capsule or something, and just now you are getting out of that
No, sir. I left in April, and since then I've been at home, just giving exams and studying. So it's been 6-7 months now, and the peer group in Nasik is nobody usually, and I haven't stepped out also. That is one thing. That's why I think my social communication has suffered because of it.
Now you have clear 10 days to prepare. On the 11th day from today, it's your interview.
Yes, sir.
So you have to press up for it.
Yes, sir.
And I will share some other small points, but the biggest one is, I'll tell you a very simple thing. Just speak confidently. That's what I'm saying. Okay, sir. Even a bit of I don't like the English word loud. I'm not saying speak loudly. I'm saying speak energetically.
Okay, sir.
So loud is not same as energy. Let there be some energy. Put some energy in your answer. State your answers confidently. And of course, 10 days, careful preparation to be done. I will give you some suggestions. Take your own time and we keep in touch.
Yes, sir.
So even before proceeding on 2nd of February, you want to have a 5-10 minute chat just to brush up and be doubly sure. You are most welcome there.
So in Delhi? Or?
Personally, I'm over there in Delhi, returning on 31st, but maybe you are reaching Delhi before that.
Yes, sir, I'll be.
So, come over.
Okay, sir.
But now, as to preparation,
Yes.
there are two major sources of questions. One is your own DAF, and the other is all kinds of current.
Yes.
These two. Within these two also, I would actually suggest you an exercise. Whenever possible, at the earliest, sit down quietly with your DAF. Take a look at each entry and ask yourself what possible questions can come up from this entry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so current address Nasik. There could be questions on Nasik. Rich heritage of Nasik.
Yes.
And the Kumbh Mela coming up.
Yes.
And therefore whatever is going on at Tapovan, starting from that. Two current issues in Maharashtra, India and the world. Current issues in the medical field.
Yes.
And then various current or issues that would come up based on entries on your DAF. So, though you left in April 25, you did do a job as medical officer for how long?
4 months.
4 months. 4 months, okay. Still, you as a doctor, there could be questions on the job, on medical role as medical officer, on also various questions on medical sector, medical field.
Yes.
New things in the medical field. Then there is one very obvious area. Therefore, today we chose not to spend time, and that is, why do you want to join civil service? Madam, in her one question made you aware of that line, that direction. Especially while this way or that way, why do you want to join civil service is a possible question in anyone's interview, okay? More so in your interview because you are a trained doctor.
Yes.
So leaving that field and seeking to join, you need to prepare for that. My sitting over here, my impression was the moment she put you a question, you were sort of taken aback. You were onto defensive. And I think maybe that's the reason she changed the direction so as not to disturb you and then went on with some different questions.
So the question, where do you see yourself in 5?
No, that is towards the end,
Okay.
to which you responded very well. Her the very first question was,
Doctors are good.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
does country need doctors or administrators? You said both. Fair enough.
Yes.
But her next part was, I think people need doctors more than administrators. Because it's a discussion going on. And the direction, the general import of the discussion is, essence of it is, why do you want to leave that field and join civil service?
Okay, sir.
So keep yourself
When
ready.
you rated yourself as 9.5, why would you want, why would we want to lose a doctor like you?
Yeah.
Okay, sir. But then, sir, if the question was very specifically to it, should I also go on to add like why I'm changing?
Point is, but this interview is not only Q and A.
Yes, sir.
It is interaction.
Okay.
And the panel wants to see how your mind operates.
Okay.
So when she says, or it's not only an objective question against the scale of 10, how would you rate yourself?
Okay.
It is like anticipating this, that a doctor whose self-image also is 9.5 out of 10. Why does she want to leave that field and come to civil services? Or even the first question itself was a very loaded question. Does the country need doctors more or administrators?
Okay.
Okay. All you did is a sort of monosyllabic answer, both.
Yes, sir.
But getting the import, getting the drift of the question, why is this being asked? And then accordingly responding.
Okay.
That okay, country needs both. Again, objectively, if we set aside the context and just look at that sentence, that yes, country needs both. But here, UPSC panel is talking to the person who herself is a doctor.
Yes, sir.
You need to understand that drift and accordingly respond. But the core will be a possible discussion about why do you want to join civil service. So keep yourself ready for that. Right? So one is DAF, every entry. Therefore I said the job there for discussion on Bharatnatyam. By the way, the word for facial expressions is mudra. This also is mudra,
Yes, sir.
but abhinay.
Abhinay.
So padanyas, mudra and abhinay.
Yes, sir.
So Bharatnatyam builds you up for say posture and body, all fine, excellent. It also teaches you
Facial.
abhinay and nava rasa as they are. And there is hasya mudra, hasya, smiling face. That is the default position for interview. According to me, that's the default position for life.
Okay, sir.
That basically you should be a smiling person, but more so also for the interview. But today we found you grim,
Yes.
almost responding under some pressure. So cheering up. And then these ones, current. Keep yourself ready for discussion on Bharatnatyam. Also possible further discussion on Vipassana. Then like what, 6 years in Bangalore?
Yes,
How many
sir.
years?
6 years.
6. So possible discussion like schooling in Mysore and 6 years in Bangalore may also generate questions on overall Karnataka, Kannada language, literature, music with you into Bharatnatyam. And by the way, I don't know why you are saying Tribhanga Mudra is specific to Odissi. Tribhanga Mudra is a part of Bharatnatyam also. And in fact, all classical forms in Indian dance emerged from Bharatnatyam.
Yes, sir.
Bharatnatyam is the most basic one. Its expression in Orissa, with some then changes, becomes Odissi, and so on and so forth. But Tribhanga Mudra is very much there in Bharatnatyam also. So the discussion on these points, badminton also, Vipassana, possible deeper discussion. And now that you do say Maharashtra as your home state, so possible discussion on Maharashtra, India and the world with focus on current.
So home state, do we refer to as the one we filled in the DAF or?
You filled in as Karnataka there,
Yes, sir.
right? So more questions on Karnataka,
Okay, sir.
right? What it shows is your current address is Nasik, Maharashtra.
Yes, sir.
But you are choosing Karnataka as home state, fair enough. But so therefore both states really.
Yes.
Possibly more on Karnataka. If the panel notices that you are mentioning Karnataka as home state. Maybe sometimes, I know they ask you that between Karnataka and Maharashtra, you would like us to ask you more questions on which state.
Okay.
What it means is, your self-perception of being better at which state. That given the questions on both, which one will you be able to handle better? Accordingly you have to. But remember, sometimes they may not ask. It's possible that they may go by permanent address and start you questioning you about Maharashtra. Or they may notice your mention that Karnataka is home state, so questions on Karnataka. It's almost like you would do better by preparing on both.
Yes, sir.
Issues for both, right? I think broadly speaking, do you know why I asked you sort of more questions on economy?
My father worked in there.
No? That may be one of the precipitating causes, but not exactly.
A budget is very close to my
Yeah.
interview date.
Yeah. It's not very close to your
It's
interview.
on the day of first, yeah. So, but then survey will come by first. And then how do I prepare? In what aspect should I focus on?
The economic survey
Like,
and the budget that will be presented on 1st of February. So my suggestion is also listen to the basic speech by Finance Minister on 1st of February. Take down your notes.
okay.
Throughout that day, different channels will have some discussions on the budget. And on 2nd of February, your interview is in the morning session or
Afternoon,
after.
sir.
So then I would say you have time enough to read the newspapers of 2nd of February also carefully. But when it comes to budget, UPSC aspirant is expected to know all aspects.
Yes, sir.
And the link between economic survey and the budget. So keep track of economic survey. So from today itself, when you read newspaper, keep track of economy, various global issues, etc. It's a sort of a bar for all UPSC aspirants, and it is pretty high. So from today itself, with focus on DAF and current. Right?
Okay, sir.
Good. Anything more you want to ask?
No.
Okay. Still a couple of small things with our intention, with our eye on sharpness. Discussing with General Sir, the Commonwealth, you mentioned Commonwealth, we are preparing for Commonwealth.
We're bidding for. Sorry, sir. I mean, I couldn't get.
He was discussing the cycling
Yes, sir. Pune World
competition yesterday. How
And
will
I
it
will
help?
do.
You said it will help us prepare for, we are claiming or we are trying to get Commonwealth Games.
I went off topic, sir.
So, which Commonwealth Games? So,
So 2030 Ahmedabad, we are planning to host Commonwealth. Is what I've read. I have to brush up if we have
Quite a
got
lot.
But yeah.
Because it's Olympics we are aiming at.
Okay, sir.
So India is thinking of like Olympics, right?
That is 2036. Yes, sir.
Okay. Question on good governance. And you were at a loss for words,
Yes, sir.
not advisable.
I brushed through the basics.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
As it is, GS4 is the whole subject about good governance.
Yes.
Savarkar,
So with Savarkar, the problem comes is there's a lot of dimensions it can go in.
it can.
So where to start from becomes very
To the
difficult.
best of your knowledge. But with current address in Nasik and the term Savarkar Nagar being there, possibly some really, for lots of reasons, Savarkar is in discussion.
So can I say it that this way that he has been a controversial figure recently because many people don't read about him properly or go into the details of him.
Panel wants to hear how you have understood Savarkar.
So is it okay to mention that I need to read about him in detail since I have?
It is okay to mention, but you have 10 days on hand.
Yes, sir.
So even if you go through some brief summary, etc. Because what came out in the discussion, basically it's all wrong. What you were talking about Savarkar was all even objectively wrong. Forget controversies, etc. You called him extremist.
I mess.
If you're talking of freedom struggle, then the term extremist has a very specific connotation.
Yes, sir.
These are Lal Bal Pal
Yes, sir.
and Aurobindo. But Savarkar, you may either call him revolutionary
Yes.
or armed revolutionary, etc., etc. And then across whatever you sort of struggled to respond to questions on Savarkar. The only thing you seem to remember was whatever you think is mercy petition.
Yes, sir.
And then you are saying, after he came back, his position softened. I don't know what Savarkar, you have read some other Savarkar.
I'll have to brush on that.
Because the answers are completely wrong.
Yes, sir.
Is he controversial? The words I would use here are, he is deliberately made into controversial. Whatever are the reasons. You are perfectly okay to have your own opinion. No problem. But it needs to show that you have studied the issue.
Yes.
So Savarkar has been part of freedom struggle and whatnot. And with that risk, you never know.
So, if I correct my factual information, will it be advisable to
It is.
avoid extreme points, opinions, or to take a middle ground in some part?
It's your honest opinion.
Okay, sir.
No question of avoiding this and that, or a sort of artificial, concocted attempt to take a so-called middle ground. No, it is your honest opinion, as long as you can explain it,
Okay, sir.
or you can discuss it. Then it is okay. Then no one, including UPSC aspirant, is under any compulsion to have any one particular type of opinion. Right? But at least it should show that you have studied the issue.
Okay, sir.
Right? Done. Anything you want to ask?
Sir, about that defense and development question, I blabbered a lot, so what could have been?
You gave a very valid point that you can't have development without defense.
Oh.
So that's the right approach to, that's my line of thought. Although there are people like that is bringing out, to have any views, okay, otherwise your line was okay. I mean, your approach to the answer was quite okay.
Okay, sir.
If I may, your views on Savarkar, maybe if you have what you have stated, are your views, they can be disturbing for people. So you need to be very clear and then be able to bring out the why of your views.
Sir, I have utmost.
I somehow, personally, I was not comfortable with
Yeah.
the answers that you gave. And today the nation definitely, these seem colored by some partial reading or partial hearing, not really something that you've gone into. And you have your personal views on it. Be careful.
I have utmost respect for Savarkar.
I'm
but
just saying, the way you came across was...
the way I put it
very
into
shallow.
You
words.
mentioned cellular jail as if he went to some
Very shallow one.
like
Yeah.
Yeroda jail.
Tourist spot.
It's cellular jail is different.
The problem, what I went through was I wanted to state all the facts in that short period of time. Thus, I couldn't give every point its own due importance. And
You
No, the
said
answer
you
was casual.
Yes,
cellular
The
jail
answer
is
was
not
very
casual
casual.
thing.
Very
Yeah.
superficial, casual answer.
कि हाँ ते सब जेल मध्ये गेले. It is not like that.
that's why, because the question was broad scope, so I went through a lot of directions in it. Okay, so,
Right?
yeah.
Excellent, Sayali. Keep in touch.
Yes, sir.
These are notes for you. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
All the
you.
best.
Thank you.